Welcome back to Our Place Homestead. It's been a hot minute since we've done an episode here on the channel, and sometimes I have things that I do here in the shop that don't really fit over on the My Car Shop channel. And today that's one of these things that I really felt that this is important information about these Raptor SD Hustler lawnmowers. What's been happening is we have been either blowing the belt off or cutting the belt on the hydrostats that drive the mower. It's taken me a little while to sort out what's going on, but if you have this issue, you're going to definitely want to stick around and watch this video. I'm Mike, and this is the Our Place Homestead. If you buy your belts from Hustler, they're expensive, 20, 30 bucks a belt. I chose not to go that way. I went with a less expensive belt through AutoZone, and I questioned, because I'm on my third, let's see, it popped. The original one broke. No, the original one popped off first. I put it back on, and then like a week later, it broke, I thought. So I bought a new one, put that on, and like a week later, it broke. And I thought, well, maybe the belt is just cheap and I needed to get a better belt. But I wasn't convinced of that. So I did some research and found out that, and it makes sense to me, what happens on these things is when the belt pops off on that hydrostat system, a lot of times it gets in the cooling fan. There's a cooling fan on top of each hydrostat. There's a hydrostat for each rear wheel. And that fan chops that belt. And when I examined the last broken belt, you can see that for sure it's cut. It didn't break from stress. So there's a couple of things that they said to look for. Look to see if the hydrostats are loose. Make sure your idler system is working good. Make sure your idler spring is good. I did all of that, and I do have something to show you. There's our cut belt right there. Definitely sliced right at the angle of the blade on the fan. But I'm not going to show you how to put the belt on. There's plenty of videos out there on how to do that. But what I did discover after going around, besides finding there's a whole bunch of crap up in here that needs to be cleaned out, this bolt right here is loose on this hydrostat. And so I'm going to go around and check them all. I haven't checked them all completely yet. I just did a quick glance. But what's happening is this hydrostat is rocking. Now remember that the hydrostat only spins one way, right? The pulley only spins one way, but as the wheel switches direction, the tension on the hydrostat changes, and so that hydrostat's been back here rocking back and forth. That's one issue. There's another issue I also believe has compounded this problem. The second issue that this happened a year ago or so, there's a resistance shock to keep you from being able to move these too fast back and forth, or provide some distance or some resistance, I should say, so that when you're driving it, you're bouncing around, you're not doing this with it. Well, this one's been broken. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the one on this side is also where the hydrostat came loose. I tend to be pretty quick when I mow, and I think in switching this back and forth, it probably was causing that hydrostat to react even harder because this little shock unit isn't on here. So today we're going to go around, tighten everything up. We're going to get the belt put back on, but we are also going to repair this. Now this I want to talk about. These units are about 30 bucks, and I'm a tightwad, and I don't like spending money I don't have to. All that breaks is this end breaks. This end is one with this ball, and what happened was the plastic, I don't know where it is, it's around here somewhere, broke. And of course this no longer holds. So I took this off a long time ago intending to replace it, but they're bloody expensive. And so I thought, you know, I'm a fabricator, I'm an engineer, I have a machine shop. Surely I can come up with something to make this work. Well, I was in my local hardware store and I found this unit for $5. You can't buy these plastic ends, and I know they're just going to break again anyway. So I thought, well, it's not the same thread, and it's a little bit too long, but oh, excuse me. We're going to fabricate up and adapt this to this little gas shock thing so that as these break, I will have a system to make metal ends to replace these plastic ends, and then until this shock wears out, I should never have a problem again. And when that shock wears out, I'll be able to screw my nice adapted metal ends on and never have to worry about those plastics breaking, because this is not the first time this is broken. I've had to replace them before. Fortunately, it was under warranty, and well, this isn't under warranty anymore. So that's what we're going to do today is get that motor tightened down, check all those bolts, and then we're going to make this thing and get it on the mower. And we also, while I'm there, I might as well show you how I sharpen the blades. I got to do that anyway. So here we go. I just went through and blew all the grass out from under there. There was a lot more in there than I realized. So that's something to be aware of also. Grass or sticks could get into the pulley system and pop a belt off. I had that happen on the deck this year. A big stick got in there somehow and blew the belt off the deck, but there's no other problems with that. So anyway, I'm going to pull the tires off the back so I can really look at the hydrostat mounts and see what things look like there and make sure that all those bolts are tight besides the one back here that's loose. So let's get after that. Okay, well, guess what? We got another bolt here that's loose. So we have compounded issues. So this one's rocking in the front and it's rocking in the back. And I'm guessing then we're also getting some twist in here. Yeah, you can see we have definitely got some spots where so this whole hydrostat's been twisting. And I bet you anything it's loosened up because of that thing, although I've read that these things can loosen up on their own anyway. So these bolts are tight here as far as I can tell. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get check all the bolts on this thing, tighten them all down, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we got. That's what I suspected. As I was sitting here getting ready to tighten it down, I thought, you know what? I bet these bolts have stretched. It's not that they came loose. They're nylock nuts, so there's no way they should have come loose. So we're going to have to make a trip to Tractor Supply to get some new bolts because I don't think I have any. So yay for that, which means this back one's probably the same way. I'm not going to take it out of there because I only want to do one at a time. But that's the issue for sure, is the bolt stretched. Yep. And then as I was tightening it down, it just snapped. So that's a grade 5 bolt. So we're going to get a grade 8 in there. That won't do that again. It won't stretch and it won't break. So, okay, a design flaw as far as I'm concerned, only using grade 5 bolts in there. But, all right, well, that's the thing. Let's go check the other side since I'm here. I might as well just replace both of those on the other side while I'm at it, would be my guess. Just came back from town, got my new bolts, already got the front one in, and I just pulled the back one out, and I wanted you to see the stretch, how much that bolt has stretched. You can see it necked in like this, and it really stretched out. So that's what's going on, is these grade 5 bolts are not strong enough ultimately for this, and then compounded by the fact with that resistor in the hydrostat not working properly. I'm sure it exaggerated the problem, but I'm going to go ahead and change the ones on the other side as well, and then we'll get the belt put on and we'll start working on our resistor for the hydrostat. The hydrostat on that side is all oily and grimy, but the one on this side is clean. So I think that's a factor of the oil filter. When it comes off, it runs all the oil right down over it, and then of course it accumulates dirt. So we'll get some super clean, and we'll get that cleaned up and blow that all off real good before we put that back together. I checked the pulley on this side to make sure there was nothing stuck in there, and it looks fine. I also look at the fan, and you can see definitely the fan head hit, the plastic fan head definitely hit the belt. and probably cut it. And so the fan is not damaged, but it's kind of a little bit weird on the edges from hitting that. So we'll get this cleaned up now, and then we'll get 2 more bolts in just to get that done, and then that should be done. Oh, I forgot to tighten the 2 bolts on the side, so I got to do that real quick. So here's where we're at. The back bolt on this side, the back bolt on this side, the front bolt on that side were replaced. I tightened the ones down this way. There's 2 more that I tightened down. I don't know if there's any further in. I got to look. I don't think there is. I did not replace the one up here in the front because it sandwiches through 3 brackets, and I couldn't get the bolt out, and I thought, you know what's going to happen is I had enough problems in the back, and I'll explain that in a minute. What's going to happen is I'm going to push that bolt out of there, and everything is going to go boing, going, and the bolt's not going to go back in. I already had that happen on the back side, so what I did was I took the bolt, because I couldn't get the bolt to go through, I took the bolt over to the grinder and I put a taper on it. So it almost made it, not quite, but almost made it a self-tapping bolt. And then that was able to find enough of the hole, and then I was able to take my air ratchet and just run the bolt up through, put the nut on, good to go. So my guts just tell me as a mechanic, don't replace that one. Don't cause problems where there aren't any. I put 2 wrenches on there, and I reefed tight on that thing. Got it really good and tight as hard as I could, and the bolt didn't stretch, the bolt didn't break, so I think that one's okay. Looking at the condition of the back one, I think the front one's probably fine. The back one wasn't too bad, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. So I want to get under there one more time, make sure I didn't miss any other bolts. Then we're going to go ahead and put our belts back on, and we'll start working on our hydrostat shock. I'm getting really good at putting those belts on. There's a trick to it. There's plenty of other people on YouTube that share it. It's not a hard thing. You just got to take the deck drive belt off. I do that by just rotating it around, popping it off. I don't bother going up and loosening the tensioners and all that stuff. It's not worth it. And then you can slip the new belt up in place, get it in there. I took the spring tensioner off the drive belt. So I put it in there, get that in place, and then reconnect the spring, and you're good to go. Put your deck belt back on, and you're done. Okay, so I got this one cut off, so it's short like this one. You can see they're about the same length now. And I just checked my threads to make sure that my 5/16 National Fine thread's in there with plenty of depth, and it does. So now we can make an adapter bushing down to the 6mm 100 pitch thread. We're just going to put this over in the lathe and drill a hole through it and then tap it. So easy peasy. I'm going to cut the bolt head off, and then we'll drill it from the other end. I think it's a number 6 drill. That doesn't sound right, but anyway, we'll drill it and we'll go from there. We'll do it over in the lathe. Got the bolt head cut off now, so we can put this part in the lathe, and then we can drill in it with our drill and then get ready to tap it. Woohoo! I enjoy this kind of stuff. I enjoy doing this machine work. Got some big pieces of Delaware in there for future projects. Whoa, big mysteries there. But this stuff is fun to me. That was a piece from a project you guys will be seeing over on the MKS channel eventually at some point. Anywho, going to get things set up here to get this in, and we'll go from there. So hang on, we'll be right back. Not an ideal way to do this, but this won't crimp down small enough. So I'm just putting a little center drill in here to get us started. I got our chuck centered here. It's a little tenuous, but once I'm into it, it should hold itself. I feel pretty good about that now. So let's back this up, and we'll get our drill bit in there next, and we'll go from there. Okay, I got to get my it's a number 9 drill. I got to get that in the. That's going to be awful thin. Probably hope this works. It should work. If not, there's another way we can do it. There's always a way where there's a will. Even though nobody here is named Will. All right, I got to get my taper chuck in here. Let me get this in here. Try to get myself some depth so I don't, well, there we go. And I got to get my drill key, but just like to tap that just a little teeny bit, just to make sure our taper's snug. It can't be off at all in here. It has to be perfectly centered, otherwise we're going to drill through, and it's going to be nip and tuck as it is. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we make a mess or if it works. It's all theory at this point. We're just trying something, so. Oops, the drill's pushing back. We can get that tight enough in the chuck. The drill's pushing back in, so tighten it up. I only went with a grade 5 bolt, so they wouldn't be hard to drill. I think we're okay. We're not perfectly centered, but it's close enough. Some of the limitations of this equipment, of course. And, you know, I'm not spending tons of time making fixtures for stuff, so this is a little ham and eggy, but, you know, if it works, is it wrong? Some of my thinking here is I'm going really deep and drilling it as much as I can, because I can probably make more than one of these threaded sleeves. Whether that thinking is correct or not, I don't know, but since I'm here, I might as well go ahead and, you know, bore it. We're in there quite a ways. I think we're good. We're in about that far. I'd say we've drilled pretty much through all of the threads that are there. So right there is where we're at. Right here. Go a little more. Okay, I see things starting to wobble a little bit. I better quit while I'm ahead because I don't want to make my hole too big that I can't tap it. Now, back in the day when I did this all the time, I could slow this lathe way down and just machine tap it, but we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Here's our tap. Dang, I thought I bought a... Oh, I bought an Irwin drill, but I didn't buy an Irwin tap. Okay, that's fine. Sentry's all right. So, let's see how this goes. Gotta go get my little tap handle. Here we go, on the road again. Here we go, up on the stage. Here we go, playing star again. Here I go, turn a page. Is that a copyright violation? Oh, phew, that's all it was, okay. We just loosened up in our chucker. I see why. It's because we're we may have to do this differently. Yeah, I can't get a hold enough, tight enough with this. So let me think about a different way to do this. This is going to work. Got it locked in the vise here now. I was able to crank it down real good. I'll fill that right up with some liquid wench. And things are still pretty hot there, but I did a couple turns on it just to be sure everything was good. And I think we're fine. It's so copacetic, not so pathetic. So as long as we don't break the tap off, which could happen. You just can't you can't be in a hurry. You just gotta take your time and work it back and forth. I'd swear that was the wrong size drill bit, the way this is fitting, but it's going. Part of it is it's such a long, deep thread, and maybe that's not wise on my part to try to thread that whole thing. I've got it drilled, and we're down in there quite a ways. Let me see where we're at with our thing. Yeah, she threads in all the way. So I think the smart thing is to stop and just be wise about it. I need to probably clean this thread up a little bit, maybe. Nope, it goes. Okay, good. So what we're going to do is put that in there like that. and then we'll just zip this off and run the tap in the other way just to be sure everything's good, and we should be good to go. Should be. Doesn't mean we will be, but we should be. Very good. Okay, let's get our little deburring tool here. Okay, there we go. Now we get into her. Hopefully our tap can just run through and clean the threads. Yep, there she goes. We have a winner chicken dinner. So if everything's right, yep, we just need a little grippage to get that on there. It's just a little mung in the threads is all it is. I can't quite do it by hand, so this works. Being careful not to scar that shaft up. And winner, chicken dinner. Now I know our clocking is off just a little bit, and I think I want to, so this goes on this way, so I want to take this one back just a half a turn. Oh, duh. I'm not very smart sometimes. I was thinking I needed to unthread it and realizing that this whole thing spins in there, so it's not a big deal. So this one will snap on to the existing ball that's down in the tractor, and this one will go through the hole that's already drilled in the frame for the other one, and we should be golden. Alright, got it in the hole here. Just get that snug down a little, and then let's see what we got to do to get it snapped on the other side. Of course, first thing I did was put it in there and get it trapped below a bar. So we got to take it out. That's okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're better. There's still half a lawn in here, and I'm bowling this thing out every which way from Sunday. And this one is the one that's on the lever, so give me a lever and we'll move the world. Hopefully we can just, there we go, we're on. Oh, lovely. Woot woot! Yes! Couple little rat-a-tats with the impact gone, and it's all tightened down, and we have resistance. So don't say that resistance is futile, because it's not. We have it. Okay, so everything is done now. We just got to finish it up. I'm going to pop the blades off real quick, get those sharpened up, see what kind of shape they're in, get our back tires on. Might as well leave the tires off for now, because it's easier to get under there to get the blades off. Hopefully this is high enough. Yeah, my cherry picker's in the back room, so we'll see. Normally I lift up the front, but I think we're okay this way. So I'll get those off of there. We'll see what we got. All right, there we go. I had to lift the front up, but now I can get the impact on there, buzz these blades off real quick, and get them sharpened up to the best that we can. I know they need to be replaced, but that ain't in the budget right now. So unless something is really bent or broken, we're going to use what we got. So I'll get these off, and I'll show you what we got. They actually don't look too bad. It's good they tell you that this is the grass side. Whew, man, I'm tired and hungry. So I think what I'm going to do is spit in a shoe and throw it at you, like my grandfather used to say. Going to stick them in here, and we'll take out our little pneumatic grinder and just put an edge on them. I'm not going to get crazy. Just want to sharpen them up a little bit, see what we get. Success, yes. And it's raining, so I can't mow the lawn. Oh well, we got to go away anyway. So, if you haven't seen the channel before, check out some of the other videos. There's a lot going on here. We don't do a lot of episodes like I do over on my car shop channel, where I do 3 episodes a week. This is just as I feel, and Becky feels like we have something to say. We've built a cold frame. We built an outdoor room. We share a garden. In fact, we do have a garden update coming real soon, and we also have an update on the outdoor room. I keep pointing because it's over there. So definitely stick around, like, share, subscribe. This is just fun for us to do this and share this stuff. In this case, I thought this was a kind of an important one to share for people that are struggling. This Raptor SD Hustler is a great lawnmower. We've had it for 5 years now, and this is the first year we really had any trouble with it. So, and we have 3 acres, and we mow the crap out of this place. So it's hard mowing, but so far so good. I expect to have to do a little work. Don't criticize me on sharpening the blades. They're not in great shape. I just wanted to get an edge on them. Good enough for now. We'll get some new ones coming for next year, but these will get us through the rest of this year, and we'll be good to go from there. So I know that wasn't the proper way to sharpen the blades. I just wanted an edge and take off the big dents and stuff, and that's all we did. So, all right, thanks. Catch you on the next one.